All right, so we are live.
We're live.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us this Sunday evening. I keep thinking Saturday because I don't have to go to work tomorrow, but thank you especially because it is a holiday weekend and taking the time to spend some of that with us always is amazing. Our topic for today, hang on, cat situating self. Professionalism at its best. Our topic today is seasons, which has really been resonating with both Kelly and I, especially this past week. She and I were talking about how many different ways this applies in life, and some of the things that we wanted to talk about were sort of the change of seasons with nature, the change of season, trouble going to LinkedIn. You had that the other day, right?
I did. You want to fix it the way I did last time?
Yeah, as long as we can fix it, and then I can tell people somewhere else. What fixed it?
So I just delete it, and then we re-add it. Add it. Do it for right now. Save changes.
And then if I pick it up off Mike's and share it on mine.
So the only thing is now that it created a new link.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, and hey,
tag people.
This is live, so I'm going to go back to Mike's page, right? Because it's going to show up on him, on his page, not him. So we're going to go to find Mike. For those of you who ever have this problem, when you watch the replay, you can go back to.
Yeah. Here's an instructional video.
So there should be a new one on his, like a new post, or how does it work?
Yep, it'll be the top of his. Well, it'll be live. Right
yes,
now.
I'm live. Hi, how are you, Steve? Everything's happening at once.
So it'll be live on his page right now. So if you go to his page,
I was told to come tell you where.
1 second. Can you try and find it? Hold on just a second.
This is how this is technology. This is how this works. Doesn't always work the way we plan it, which is fine. We are currently having trouble streaming to LinkedIn. It says that may be an issue on LinkedIn's end. So we canceled the stream. We tried to go again. It looks like even now, the second time, it's
not. Oh no. Okay, so why don't I do this?
Doesn't like us today.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Facebook. I'm going to grab the link to it there, and I'm going to put it over on, because it should have started over here.
Yep.
All right. Oh, man. Gotta love it.
Technology.
Okay. Copy link. Go back to, it's been temperamental. Go back to the original, which is here. I believe so. Seasons connected, I think, hopefully. I can't add a comment here because it's not live yet. Wow. Okay, hang on. There's a way. There's got to be a way. Wait, now it's live, it says. Hang on.
Yep.
Okay, this is our new link. Copying that. Going back to the old one.
Yay. Hi, Tim.
Thank you, LinkedIn. Okay, so must be the old link if Tim found us, no?
No, it's whatever the new link is. He's on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, but not everybody knows to look on Mike, so let me put this in the old one. Hi, Tim. Hi, Gary. Thanks
for being here and finding us.
Yes, thank you, Kelly.
Hi,
Kelly's doing it.
Yeah, thank you all for being here and finding us. We're having some technical issues tonight, but we're working it out. So thank you so much for being here and for being patient with us as we work this out. So
yes, thank you.
So it's the link that was there already. Okay, thank you, Tim.
It is the link. Okay. I'm going to drop this in. I just shared this right before we went live, so I'm just going to drop it in the comments just in case.
Perfect.
Assuming it's going to load. It says waiting for broadcast. All right. If you are looking for us, we had some issues and you can find us here. All right. Hopefully, if not, we thank you for being here. And it doesn't, who's here is important, not who could be here. So thank you. We're going to rewind and start over a bit here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate you taking time out of your Sunday evening on this holiday weekend to be with us. I'm here with Kelly Bryant, and we are going to be talking today about seasons and all the different ways seasons apply to our lives, whether they be seasons in our lives, seasons in nature, or seasons in sort of the whole global community that they're going through. And some of the pieces we wanted to talk about tonight were seasons in terms of how we trust the seasons in nature, but we don't have that same faith in the seasons in our own lives. And one particular season that we are going through now, all of us together, is the season of sort of this emergence from COVID, where things are changing, rules are changing. And I've talked to a couple of people, and I know from myself, there's discomfort around it, right? It's this thing we've been waiting for and we want, but we really, there's a lot of discomfort around it. Yeah. And I'm going to just lay out a couple of places where, we got so tight with our LinkedIn family. Somebody page Brian Schulman, please. He just sent me a message asking if we're going live. Yeah. I forgot what I was saying because I'm good.
Well, the seasons and coming out of COVID and what that's a whole thing.
Right. And that people are uncomfortable with a lot of aspects of it, whether they feel they're safe, they're trusted, the way people in their immediate community are responding, or, things that we haven't done in so long. So it's kind of weird to do again, or even here on LinkedIn, like our community was very available during the pandemic. And as people are returning to work in person and returning to social lives, you feel them, what it feels like them withdrawing.
Right.
And we know how important community is and how that withdrawal can feel. So, and COVID brain fog. So yes, throughout the show, I'm going to be asking you guys to let us know in comments, sort of like, what's your biggest challenge around this particular thing or any of the other seasons that we talk about? So Kelly, why don't you dive in about sort of what we were talking about, nature, seasons, and the parallel for our lives every day?
Yeah, so that specifically, we were talking about how we so easily accept the seasons of nature, right? We get that it's fall, it's winter, it's spring, it's summer, it's going to happen, change is going to happen. We accept it, we embrace it. We can't wait for the next season, right? Mm-hmm. We're so ready for the next season. And yet when seasons in our life happen, when changes happen in our life, for the most part, I would say most people are so resistant to that change. And without recognizing that with change comes growth, and which, like, ultimately it's a positive thing, right? Seasons of life and the changes that we go through in life are ultimately really positive things. We accept it in nature, right? We accept that we know that it's coming. We accept that those seasons and those changes are coming because it's a regular thing. It's a regular occurrence. Where while it is a regular occurrence that I am a changing human, evolving being, right? That is a regular occurrence. It maybe isn't every 3-4 months. Like
it doesn't,
right? Like nature, right?
It doesn't happen on
this timetable.
Schedule,
right?
Yes.
It's not quite as predictable. But if we maybe change our perspective as a reality, right? If maybe I can learn to change my perspective and recognize that I have seasons in life. It's going to change. Everything changes, and that's okay. And it's a positive thing, right? It means I'm growing. It means I'm evolving. It means I'm moving into the next phase of life. LinkedIn fam.
Yes, for sure. And sorry, were you finished with what you were saying?
But no, that's it. Just, I think as a collective, if we can recognize that we go through seasons just like nature, just in the same way. And if we can sit back and allow and just recognize that this is a good thing, and that while change is unknown and the unknown is scary, that it means growth. It means evolution, and it's a positive thing, right? Just because I don't know what's going to happen and it feels It feels scary because it's unknown. If I can change my perspective and view it like seasons and say, okay, right, I've been in winter, I'm moving into spring. This is a good thing. I don't know what spring looks like this time, but I'm moving into spring. So whatever is coming, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to allow.
And that's such an important perspective, right? Because things are going to change and you want them to change. You
Yes.
don't want things to remain static.
So
And for me, when I started thinking about this, when Kelly and I were talking, there was this like aha moment of like, when we go into winter, things die off, right? Things go into
we
hibernation,
hibernate.
right? Really, we just slow down, shut down, whatever that is. And when we get to the winters in our lives, well winters in nature, we always, we never question if life is going to come back, right? We never worry if spring is going to come, if we're ever going to see flowers again and trees and, all of that. We never have anxiety or angst around that. But in the winters of our lives, we tend to worry, right, about the coming back to life part.
Right.
When it's going to happen, I can't tell you. But if you have the belief that it's going to happen and you have the history, because we've seen it, right? We've
This
seen
isn't
it.
the first time, right? This isn't the first time.
No, it's not. And every
This is my
time, what do
first
you
winter.
know?
Yeah.
What do you know? And how powerful that is when we can remind ourselves of that. Before we go any further, I want to say hi to everyone. Let's make sure I don't miss anyone. Hi, Tim. Are you doing comments, Cal? Should I not fight you?
No, do it.
Okay. Hi, Tim. Thank you for finding us. Thank you for all of you for finding us. And Gary, thank you again. Love having you here. We had Rob. Hello to you, Rob. Happy Sunday. Who else do I see? You guys, thank you for connecting with one another in the comments and talking to one another. Again, if you're not connected to one another, I know a lot of us are, please connect with one another. This is an amazing community.
Yes.
Maricela, thank you. Maricela was the first person to post something for Radiating Real. And later in the show, we'll talk about that. Yes, there's so much gratitude there. Thank you. But I want to continue on season. So we're going to put a pin in that. The beautiful Michael Ray. Hi, how are you? And me responding to people, KDJ. Now we have a problem here, people, because KDJ is still in LinkedIn jail. And I don't know if this is the right one. He's saying hi. It's here somewhere. But he's still in, here it is. He's still in LinkedIn jail. And this is the longest LinkedIn sentence I have heard of because it's been for several days. So I just wanted to assure you, Kenny, we are raising bail. Do not worry. We will get you out by your birthday.
We miss you. Yeah.
Wednesday, guys. This Wednesday. Put it in your calendar. Put it in your phone. Whatever it is. Just make sure you wish him a happy birthday on Wednesday. All right? This is a man who shows up for all of us. We can do this for you, Kenny. Absolutely. Our pleasure. Mary, so talk about winter in life. Our landlord sold the apartment complex where we are property managers for decades. Never said thank you, never said a word and vanished. Now I found a job and my hubby too. Right, stay upward and onward. And in that time, right, in that hibernation time, in that dead of winter, it can be so scary. It can be that place that drags us down. And that's what Kelly and I are saying is how do you get yourself to trust that the universe, the patterns of life, the way things flow are going to bring it back to spring every time for us. Again, I want to invite those of you who are with us and commenting, what has been for you at present, like the biggest challenge with the season of returning from COVID to our quote unquote normal life? I know for me, I've been wearing a mask for so long that it's become my security blanket. And despite being vaccinated and being told I do not need to wear it, I need to wear it. I need to wear it. And I'm also not completely comfortable being in large groups of people I don't know yet.
So what is that? So I love that Tim really opened up about that in a comment earlier.
I saw it, but now I can't find it.
Here it is.
Oh, here we go.
What is it for you? We just
you go. Hands off.
So what is it for you? You know, you mentioned the mask thing and not being comfortable. So is it a COVID thing? Like you aren't comfortable because of you don't feel safe yet. You know, what is that? Or is it some combination of your own?
Yes, is the answer, right? Absolutely, yes. I'm also going to put one more plea out there for you guys to page our normal community that shows up, because that switch on the link, I don't know if they're finding us, and I think this is a great conversation for a lot of people to be a part of.
Yeah,
and there are
so
a lot
you
of,
help us just by paging the people who are
Yes.
normally in this conversation.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So for me, you know, I was one of those people who, you know, I did it all, right? I was hand sanitizing. I was having my groceries delivered. I was wearing a mask anywhere I went. And you get so used to that being what's going to keep you safe that I feel like it's taking me some time and some evidence. Like the numbers just have to stay low for a while and then I'll feel okay. The other thing, and this is like a big reveal on me that I don't know that people realize, is that one of the things that happened with COVID is what my normal routine was completely normalized because everybody was doing it too.
Right.
And I no longer had to like get out of a social plan or feel like I had to have
you don't need an excuse to not go somewhere because
exactly right.
My extroverted introvert.
Exactly. And so I need my me time.
Yep.
I didn't have plans a whole lot of the time. I was very judicious with how I spent my time with other people. And so I didn't have a lot of plans and I didn't do a lot of things. And so people will say, well, what are you looking forward to? And I don't have a like, oh, I can't wait to go to happy hour again with friends. Yes, but I do that like once a month.
Yeah.
And so for me, it gave me permission. It reduced some of the stress around social pressure.
Yeah.
And that was a really nice relief. And it's coming back to like, okay, holding your boundaries with the nose, you know, not feeling, I don't know about the pressure, but not feeling
there's a little bit of like, you're off the hook for the peer pressure, right?
Right.
Like, all of a sudden I have an excuse not to go to something when the reason why I don't want to go to something is my social anxiety.
Right. I just don't want to. I just
really
rather
don't
be
want
here.
to do it. But now I have this overarching COVID.
Yes.
I don't have to go because of COVID. And now that things are opening up,
nobody's going. Yeah.
Now we have to re-enter society, right? And with all of this talk about mental health, right? Because I think that's something that COVID has really given us the benefit of, is now we really focused on us, right? Like we had to focus on us. There wasn't anything else to do, right? So during the last 18 months or whatever it is, the light was on us, the mirror was on us. And so we really had to focus on that self-care piece, on that let's do the work kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now the world's reopened. And now we don't have the COVID excuse anymore that, oh, I can't go because of COVID, or I'm being safe, or I'm not vaccinated, or whatever it is, right? So now we're faced with, okay, have we been doing the work? We don't have the COVID excuse anymore. So here we are. This is my social anxiety, whatever this is, right? So now it's that balance. Now we have to find the real true balance of, am I going to re-enter society? And what does that look like?
Right. And that piece of, we've learned about boundaries and many of us have learned really what we need. Mm-hmm. Can we hold that? Can we maintain that going back into our busy lives, right? Our day-to-day lives? Where do we create that space? How fiercely are we going to fight for it? You know, are we going to allow other things to get in the way like we did before? I want to talk to Gary's comment. He had COVID for 2 weeks and he was in a coma for 3 days and he's still alive. Well, thank goodness for that. So glad you're still here. Would love to hear, if you're comfortable in the comments, a little bit more with your experience, but how you're feeling about, you know, after COVID, how you were feeling about being in the world. And now that we're going out into the world, you know, I'm curious, maybe you feel more confident because you had it. Mm-hmm.
Tim, I love this comment.
Go find it. I'm not going to touch.
It is such a, I think that has been such a gift about COVID, is it allowed all of us to kind of reset and like figure out this is what this was my life pre-COVID, right? This is what I did. I was super busy and I felt like I had to do everything and say yes to everything and be social and network and all of these things, right? I felt like I had to do all of these things before. And then I've survived. You could argue thrived for the past 18 months.
I absolutely will
like
thrive.
you could argue I actually thrived over the past 18 months without doing all those things that I felt were more obligation than authentic to me, right?
And that felt like you had to do because that's the norm.
I had to do it because that's what you do. Normal. What is normal anyway? But that was normal. So now we get to rewrite it, right? We now get to say, hey, this is, as I re-enter society, this is my new normal. This is what I'm willing to say yes to. This is what I'm willing to say no to. I mean, if we go back to Tim's original comment, which was really detailed about just your hesitation about escaping COVID hibernation, I agree. Even going to stores, it's so awkward. It's so different. So I have to say, I live in Texas, and it's no secret that Texas pretends like COVID doesn't exist. And, I will walk around, there are no masks anywhere. And it has been that way for a while in Texas. And so the transition for me, because I travel consistently and have been for a while now, it's weird. It feels weird. And, Tim's comment is talking about being in stores and having it weird that some people are wearing masks and some aren't, and just kind of having this general anxiety. So I'm the person who I'm overly accommodating. I don't want to make anyone else uncomfortable. And so even if I am comfortable not wearing a mask, I'm going to wear a mask just so I don't make anybody else uncomfortable, right? I am fully vaccinated. I feel fine. I feel totally safe. I don't think I need to wear a mask. But I live in a high rise in Dallas where it's a nicer high rise. And there's, I would say, a high percentage of elderly in my community. I wear a mask for those people.
Right.
I wear a mask more than those people wear a mask. But it makes me feel safe. It makes me comfortable because I don't want to offend anyone else.
Right.
Right. So there is that social anxiety of like, what's okay and what's not okay and where do I stand, and right, it's just like this whole new world. As the world opens up, it's this whole new world. All of these new anxieties, aside from the fact that I just want to stay at home and watch TV and be in my PJs, right? Exactly. Now there's this whole new world,
whole layer.
How do I act? What do I
and
what
right
do I
and the whole mask thing is sort, I don't know if anyone else, like, it sort of feels like a scarlet letter because either you are wearing a mask or you're not wearing a mask, right? And there's so many assumptions we can make about
so many different things, right? I'm wearing a mask because I'm scared and I'm not vaccinated or whatever it is, or I'm not wearing a mask because I'm not vaccinated or because I'm anti-mask. Right.
And so it's like it's sort of like Starbelly Sneetches and Dr. Seuss, like, where some had and some didn't. There is some social strata that's happening here.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what it means or all the perceptions of it, but there's clear delineation. There's something, mask, no mask, right? And so that's another piece to go out in the world. And I'm like you, if I can do something to make someone feel better.
Yes.
That really, it doesn't harm me, right? It does not harm me. It does not change my core values, who I am as a human. Nothing changes for me other than wearing a mask. I'm going to wear the mask
so
because
it's slight inconvenience to make someone else not be afraid.
Right. It's slightly inconvenient. Yeah, it's done because I would do it if it wasn't a mask. I do it every day in other ways that are completely acceptable, but for somehow this mask thing, I became, it's a different thing. And I want to say to Gary, this is why I wear a mask. Yeah. Because even if I was a carrier and one person got sick because I wasn't, that's not okay with me. And I'm glad to hear that you're walking 2 miles a day. There are a couple of people who came in since last time. So let's say hi. Brian Schulman is here. Robert Murray, great to see you. I know you were live earlier today. David Munford, it's been a while. We've missed you. So happy to see you here. And Devin James Stinson, I saw you out there. If I missed anyone, I'll get you next round or yell at me in the comments. Oh, great conversation. Okay, hang on. You guys are amazing.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Yeah.
Right. They're amazing. First of all, for showing up. giving of yourself and your time. Huge gratitude and appreciation for that. For what happens here in the comments, where you really start sharing yourselves and your ideas, and we have a discussion that includes you, because you are the most important part of this show. This is your space, and you give us the privilege of being here every week, so thank you. And I love that this is a great one, right? Let's talk about variance, right? There's so many layers here. And while it may not seem seasons, just reminding everyone, this is a season. We're in a transition, right? We're in that place where right now in LA, it will be like 80 degrees one day and then 64, right? It's back and forth until we're fully moved into spring and summer. So we're still in seasons here. And yes, I would love to talk about variance. If you want to put something in comments about it, feel free. We will talk about, I want to do a few more comments and then we'll come back, because Tim is saying, so true. He's vaccinated but wearing a mask, and people will probably think that he doesn't believe in vaccines, right? There may be assumptions about us, which is what Kelly was saying. Like, you don't believe in vaccines, you don't believe in the science, whatever it is. Like, you think a million things. Mm-hmm. And by the way, people are making assumptions about us all the time. That's nothing new. So we live with that every day, and not necessarily always so comfortably, but it's the same thing, like bringing it back to, I hate to use the word normal, but bringing it back to normal. People were making assumptions about us before.
All day, every day.
Absolutely. Now, so this is just another one. Now it's like, well, do we choose to let this one get to us? Do we choose to let this one get into our brain and bounce around and be that unwelcome visitor? Or do we do what we know, use our growth, use their skills, and go, okay, so people are judging me, and maybe I'm wearing it for all the right reasons for other people, but no one's going to think that. I don't need anyone else to know that. I know that. End of story, right? It happens all the time. We'll keep wearing a mask until COVID is wiped off this planet. I think there are a lot of us who feel very strongly about that, but I think there are people who also, have differing views for different reasons. And it's not that anyone's reasons are invalid. And that's why we have this conversation. Because if we can help one another understand, then that place of curiosity is exactly that. It's curiosity and not judgment. Katie J, you still wear the mask anyway. And he's also in Texas. It does fight against the flu and other illnesses. So actually, right, there's other benefits to doing this. I joke that I'm worried when I go back to school full time with all the kids, it's going to be like my first year of teaching again. And I'm going to be sick all the time because I have no immunity to anything.
That's a real thing. And talk about seasons. Like when you first start teaching, literally you're sick all the time.
Right. And I don't know if everyone knows that you were a teacher, Kelly.
Yeah, I was. So I taught high school for 8 years.
And I'm middle school. So
you and I have very similar, backgrounds in that, man, when you teach, that's a thing. That is a thing.
I had every
for the first year. You're sick all the time.
I had every childhood illness. I had strep. I had an ear infection. I got the stomach flu. I had bronchitis. Right, exactly. And by the time I got better from one, I had the other one until I got immunity. So yeah, that's another thing. Like we haven't been among each other. We have been so germ free.
Right.
What's the expectation? What's realistic? So
now we start all over. Right.
Start all over. So make sure you're even more reason to take that self-care, take that you time, hold those boundaries, because our immune system's going to be working overtime.
Nancy, vitamin C, eat well, rest, drink lots of water, all of those things.
All those things.
Even more so than before.
Yes. Zinc, all of that good stuff. Appreciate Nancy and Kelly for hosting this important conversation. Our pleasure. That's exactly why we are here week after week, why this show is what it is, and why we are so grateful to all of you. I didn't say hello to Ivan before, or Lisa, hi, or Jenny. Wow, you guys, these comments go so quickly. Yeah. All right, so Ivan.
I love this comment. Nancy and I had this whole conversation when we met for dinner. It's a thing. Right? Like we've been used to wearing a mask for a year and a half.
Right.
Lipstick, lip gloss, chapstick, all of those things. Like you don't even think about that part of your makeup. And now all of a sudden it's a thing again.
My face is out there. My face is fully out there.
Oh, hold on. I need to whiten my teeth again. And it's a whole thing.
Yeah, and again, do we have to, right? Start questioning. I lived a year without it with anyone seeing me live. People saw me. No one ran in horror.
Good one. Great point.
Yeah, no one ran in horror from the way I looked. So do I want to go back to that? I have a friend who's in the cosmetics industry, Ivan, to your point, and lipstick sales are down. I think the number she gave me was 300% during COVID. However, mascara sales are up 400%.
Yes, right? Because this is
it. This was me.
Now this matters more than anything.
This was me. And I am someone who doesn't usually wear makeup, but with the mask on, I kind of started I did wear the mascara and do my eyes a little bit because you couldn't see my smile. You couldn't see, like, I wanted to be like, hey, look, hi. Like, I don't know. There was something about preparing the top half of my face that made me seem friendlier. I don't know.
Right? More put together.
Yes, something like that. So thank you, Ivan, for your thoughts. And then we'll get back to this conversation. You guys are only 5 hours apart.
Kenny D, actually, I am in Sonoma at the moment. So I am not 5 hours south. I'm way northwest of you.
But normally, and yes, pandemic or not, we were talking about the germs. I think that's sorry, this is the problem with getting behind you guys.
Any comments?
Jenny, hi to you, beautiful. Appreciate you being here. You as well, Lisa, thank you. These are our peeps. You guys are amazing and you found us. I love it. Kelly, you might have to help me with these because so many are coming in that I'm getting buried. So is it Lisa? Because I'm also trying to write you guys down. Jenny, Ivan. Sorrow, I don't know that you've been with it. Ivan either. I don't know if you guys have been with it.
I recognize y'all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for finding us and thank you for being with us. And please, like we said in the comments, add your ideas. Bill, great to see you. Add your ideas in the comments. What is going on for you in your seasons right now? We happen to be focusing our conversation on COVID and the changes with that, but we have seasons all the time in our lives. So whatever it is that's on your mind and seasons you're going through, please feel free to share them with us. And I saw Lisa is still wearing her mask. Yeah, right. It's a thing. Kelly, if possible, could you please?
Thank you, Mariel.
Oh, thank you so much. That's helpful. And I'm going to let her talk again in just a minute after she's done comments. And I'm going to try and respond to all of you guys. I want you to know how much we do appreciate you being here, which is why we take these pauses in our conversation and why I'm writing your names down and why I try to get to the comments and why sometimes my head is down. So our Kelly is looking at her screen and doing comments. This is what's happening over here.
We really appreciate you being here, and we do understand that it maybe wasn't the easiest thing to get here because of our issues with LinkedIn Live at the beginning, and so it really does mean a lot that you're here and you're watching and you're engaging with us. It means a lot.
It does. The effort that you took to find us is just, thank you. This is, like I said before, this is a very special community. If you are not connected with one another, I encourage you to get connected with one another because this is a wonderful group of very authentic, supportive Queen of Engagement.
I have to point this out because Brian did. Thank you. But Nancy, this one is the Queen of Engagement. Like it's the real thing. Like she's just, it comes natural to you and it's so great. And I'm so grateful for you in that. You are. And so these people are showing up because this is what you do for other people. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for who you are and that authenticity and that just generosity that you bring to the table. You're the queen. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I operate from a place of what would feel good to me. And I know when I'm at other people's shows and you're participating, I feel like I can be part of the discussion when I'm acknowledged and my comments are shown or discussed. And so I just try to do that for other people, what would feel good for me. So thank you, Brian, for the comment. Thank you, Kelly, for the elaboration. I do really appreciate that. And everybody is trying to make me cry this weekend. I don't know. It happened on Friday night.
Clearly you need it, right? There are no
Clearly I need it. That's what happens when
everything happens for a reason, right?
When your heart overflows, it comes out your eyes. So
I love that. That's beautiful.
Back
to seasons. So we started this conversation talking about seasons, and it turned into a COVID conversation, which I think is great because that's the season that we're all in, right? We're all in this season of
this is one that we're all experiencing.
Transitioning from lockdown or some version of it to normal life and whatever normal life looks like right now. But I think I want to step back. I want to step back out of the moment that we're in and look at it from this higher, bigger perspective and just seasons in general, right? And just allow. I just want to encourage everyone to just say, whatever season it is you're in, and as much as it feels like discomfort, because we're in a season of change, right? We're between seasons. Whether you're coming out of your winter going into spring, or spring into summer, or summer into fall, whatever season it is that you're in, I feel like everyone is in a season of change right now. And whatever that looks like, whatever that is for you, whatever uncertainty there is, can we just step back and recognize that if we were looking at nature, we would embrace it. Here comes summer. Okay, we got this. Here comes spring. Okay, we got this. Or here comes winter, whatever it is, right? That we embrace and understand and accept and allow. Allow is the word, I think. Allow is the word.
Allow is a very important. Aware and allow.
Seasons happen, right? It's a normal thing. It is not something we fight against. It's not something that we struggle against. Seasons happen. And so we are all in this period of change. I would say for the most part, as a humanity, right? We're in a season of change. So what is that? Rather than struggling against it, rather than fighting it, and rather than being in this things are changing and it doesn't feel good and whatever, let's just sit back and allow and know that it means growth and know that it means thank you, Ivan.
Yes, I've been saying this a lot to people, we're coming out of our cocoons.
It's growth.
And you know what I think
is
very cool is because of the way we've been living for the last year plus, our awareness about things and ourselves we've been spending a lot of time with ourselves. And so we are more aware of this season or the season we're in, whatever, not even just COVID. We've all gone through seasons that are outside of COVID. I'm not coming up with the word I want, right? And we've all been going through seasons during COVID. It's not just this exit piece. It's the whole time. And so being aware to know that that's what's happening so that you can shift into, there you go. So you can shift into, once you have that awareness, understanding, right?
Yeah.
Allowing, because you can see what's happening so that there doesn't have to be this struggle, the fight against it, the angst, right? And being present, what's coming up in this moment? What's happening in this season for me? What is this teaching me? Where's the lesson in this? Because that's absolutely, you can do it. Go ahead.
Love.
They say I have to do it, but they're going to make fun of me because I have to go like this. Love. To get my voice even anywhere close.
To get that low?
Low, yes. And so for me, one of the things that I have noticed is there are things that happen that when they start happening, my awareness goes, aha.
Yeah.
Entering a new season. And sometimes it's things I can see happen. Sometimes it's feelings. I will all of a sudden have this blanket of calm come over me and I can't explain it. It doesn't mean that everything's perfect, but it's just this calm place, which I would say is part of my winter coming into spring, where it's all quiet, it's all hibernating, it's just freshly snowed, right? There's no sound. but I know spring is coming because that's what happens.
And I think that not everyone's coming out of winter. And I think that that's an important.
Well, that's true. That's
like
true.
For some people, you're coming out of winter and spring is coming and there's the hibernation and there's that. But I think it's really cool what you just said about like, there's this calm, and for that calm, you recognize, oh, I'm about to come out of this. But I think it's more beneficial and helpful to talk to people about what about that moment when you're not in the calm, when you're this is hard. This is like really hard. I'm struggling. I don't like this. Like it feels like change and there's all this unknown and everything's falling apart and whatever it is, just to be able to recognize this is a season. This is a season. You're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're going to move through this.
Yes. And we keep talking about like the bad part. I also think it's really important to notice our springs and summer. Like there are so many good things that sometimes we only notice our seasons when they shift into the harder seasons.
That's such a great point.
Right. But
can we recognize that when you're in spring or when you're in summer and say, I'm in summer.
Right.
Let's have fun. Let's have gratitude. Let's party. Let's recognize this is amazing. Right.
Right. And that whole like I've butterfly thing. I've come out of my cocoon. I am spreading my wings. This is beautiful and amazing, and I'm going to be present in this as much as I am present in anything else. Hi, Maria. I see you there. There are a couple other people. Beth Donnelly. Hi. Oh my gosh. I have such love for this community.
It really is so great.
We're amazing. There's so many comments. Thank you, Kelly, for helping me.
Yep.
I know there were a few other people. So again, I'm working on it. Know that I know you're there. I see you and I so appreciate you. So, okay, we'll collect. I'm looking at, we're 40 minutes in, which is crazy because it just flies by. There was, James was there too, not Jimmy Jam, but we had a James.
Yes.
Kai Sweater. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. But I know one of the seasons that's happening for me. Kelly, are you aware of a season right now that's happening for you that's not COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say that because for me, there was so much, COVID shook my world, but for a very short period of time for me, right? Because I live in Texas, because of the nature of my job and who I am, COVID shook me for a short period of time. My season right now almost is different. It's almost independent of everything that's happening in COVID, the seasons that I'm going through in life.
Okay. Do you want to share more specifically or? I don't feel like you have to. None of us.
No, sure. So, I love these comments. They're so
I know.
Beautiful. It's so great. Yeah, so back in October, I had a life-changing experience. Just and I won't go into details here, but I literally woke up one morning and everything was different. My entire life was different. And that has very much changed the trajectory of my life over the last, we're at 7-8 months now.
Mm-hmm.
Now in the last, I would say month or two, opportunities have just come to me that have enabled me to redirect, right? That have taken me from the person who I was to someone who I want to be. It feels like it's a more aligned version of me,
Mm-hmm.
right? My purpose in life is clear. My direction is clear. My priorities are different. My circle is different. And I want to go back to circle because you talked about LinkedIn family, and I don't want to lose that conversation because I think it is so important. In fact, I'll just go straight into that. Because of COVID and because of the fact that we were all locked down, we formed this really tight-knit LinkedIn community online, right? Because we weren't going out and we weren't seeing people, and I wasn't having dinner and I wasn't going, I didn't have that local community that I normally had, right? So I formed a new family. I formed this new safe knit community where I was vulnerable and I was real, and I feel it's a family, right? I feel super close to this group of people who's all over the country, all over the world, right? And we've formed this schedule, right? Like I'm used to every day seeing y'all on, I know who's going to be online at what time, and I'm going to show up for them and whatever. Now the world's opening up. Things are changing and it's hard, right? So now I'm going back now into this point where I'm choosing, right? The world's opening. Not only do I have that pressure, the normal pressure of that social anxiety of whether or not I want to go out and do something. Now I have this additional pressure of, well, hold on. If I go and do that, then I'm not going to watch Nancy on live, or then I'm not going to be there for Brian, or I'm not going to be there for Michael, or I'm not going to, right? Like, so now we have this additional pressure of, I have this new virtual family. I'm going to call it virtual because we're all over the world.
Right.
So now I have an additional thing of, how do we stay? This is a question. It's seasons, right? As you're talking about seasons, how do I stay loyal and close to my online LinkedIn family, right? And loyal to them, because I'm loyal to you. I'm loyal to my LinkedIn family. How do we stay close and also re-enter the world, right? I don't want to lose this connection. I don't want to lose my loyalty and I want to support you. I want to support my family, and I don't want to lose that. The world's reopening, right? And I want to re-enter society. I want to go and do and be a part of society. So how do we find that balance?
So what you said is interesting, because I quickly wrote something down because it really brought something up for me. I am an extroverted introvert. Mm-hmm. It was so much easier for me to socialize during COVID this way.
Yep.
And it wasn't like I could, it was,
Why is that?
Right. So for me, it's like, I still stayed in my comfy environment and like was able to soak up some of that feeling, like
pajama pants every day.
Oh, totally. And soak up some of my home time. Totally. And also there wasn't all the noise, like both noise of chattering and just noise of everything else going on. And I have connected more deeply, have been more comfortable and enjoying socializing.
100%.
So much more during the pandemic. And I agree, the transition back to, right, how do we maintain that closeness, make sure we're checking in with one another, because that's so important. We've talked about that throughout the pandemic. We want to make sure we are checking in with one another. We know we're good, we're there, we're supporting. How do we maintain that? And also on the other end, like me trying to maintain that I'm there and support for those of us like me who, really felt the camaraderie and family of it. When people start going back into the world, right? I don't want to feel abandoned. I don't want to feel lonely, because my life has been so rich with community for the last year plus. And you asked a question that I don't have the answer to. I don't know exactly how we do that, but I think maybe it's just that we make the commitment to one another to show up
and recognize that it's a thing.
Right. And
we recognize and we have grace and understanding for the fact that, hey, the world is opening. I understand you're going to have some other priorities, but I'm still going to show up for you. And even if I am going to meet friends for dinner, I can hop on LinkedIn and send a message to your live and say, way to go, Nancy, get LinkedIn Live, right? Like,
right. Yeah, exactly. Or just like out with friends.
Yes.
Thinking of you, wanted to say hello. Those moments are huge, right? If we can do them now, on the other side, like you said, to allow and have grace and find what our new rhythms are going to be, right? Have patience in finding what the new rhythms are. And so if we're checking in with one another, and we're doing those touch points, and on the other end, that this is not anything personal, and we're going to find our new rhythm.
Yeah.
And we can just sort of have that grace with one another and support each other through the transition, which quite frankly is what we have been doing all
This whole
along.
time,
Yes,
right?
all along.
This is why we're so close.
Yes.
We are this close. We formed this alliance, whatever you want to call it, because we got through the hard stuff. And
Right.
now that it's changing, let's just embrace the fact that it's changing and recognize that I'm still committed to you. Even
Right.
though the world is like opening up, whatever, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna I have faith and trust that my connection with you
Right.
withstands the fact that we've both been stuck in our houses,
Right.
whatever. I'm so committed to you. I still love you. I still am going to support you. It may look a little bit different,
Right.
but I'm not going anywhere.
And what we also know is that friendships that make it through the hard are the friendships that stay. What we also know is that we carry people in our hearts. And so if I'm not seeing your face, it doesn't mean you're not with me. It doesn't mean I don't feel you. And it doesn't mean because you may have other priorities that I am not still a priority.
Yes.
Right? It doesn't mean I'm no longer a
That's a
priority.
valid point. No,
There's
it's a valid
just
point.
there's a balance, right? There are going to be other priorities. I have to leave the house every day and go to work. And as an educator, my daytime hours, it's very hard for me to be online and communicate with people.
Yeah.
I get, you train your bladder to go to the bathroom 3 times a day. It's not,
I do not miss that part about teaching. Like you're on a schedule, right? I have a conference period during this time, so that's when I can go to the bathroom.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, I have been drinking water. I can actually drink water when I'm home because I can get up and go to the bathroom anytime I need to, which I guess at school would be nice to be able to do. But if I leave my student in their bedroom in their home, it's fine. If I leave them alone in my classroom, it's a whole different story. And so, yes, I think important for us to know that someone having potentially more priorities or adding priorities does not mean that we are no longer a priority.
So instead of viewing my life or my capacity for love and attention as this limited pizza that I can only give out so many pieces of pizza till it's gone, right? That's not the case, right? It's unlimited. The amount of love and support and energy that I can give out is unlimited.
It's Olive Garden breadsticks and salad. But it is unlimited.
It is the endless breadsticks.
Right, or the endless fries at Islands Restaurant, which I don't know if they're everywhere, so that might not. Olive Garden, I think, is more universal. Okay, well, it's more universal. But the reality is it's a well, right? And you can keep drawing from this well.
I love it.
We can keep drawing from this well as long as we are doing the things that we know we need, that we often discovered for many of us, just exactly what it is that we need. You got to do it again, Kel.
I love it. This is the definition of peer pressure.
I love. We'll just say it a bunch of times, and then we're off the hook. Love.
Yeah, then we're off the hook.
Okay. And I'm a person who believes in abundance and amplify. There is room at the top for all of us. There is room in everyone's heart for all of us.
Limits, right? It's limitless.
It's limitless.
Let's get rid of the scarcity mindset that there's only so much to go around, and that if I don't get it from you, then you're giving me some. Like, let's erase that concept. That doesn't exist in our world.
Well, and when we do that, competition, right? We change what's going on. We're not in competition with one another. We want to see one another succeed.
Yeah.
We want to help one another. We want to be there. And I will say that is one of the beautiful, beautiful things about this community here on LinkedIn is I have never encountered anyone who lives in a scarcity mentality. I have only encountered and received such generosity on so many levels with time, spirit, wisdom, energy. I mean, on every level. And that's one of the things I love about this. And I was looking for Gary's hashtag pizza, and we've made everybody hungry, which I love.
Sorry for our food analogies. We can't
Our
have
food
that.
analogies, which might be because I'm hungry. I don't know about you, Kelly, but I am definitely getting hungry. One last time as we start to wrap, Kel, and think about what your last bits might want to be. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing yourselves. You really do in the comments, for supporting one another and being here every week. You're supporting us as well. I know we're here and we say we're creating this space for you, but your showing up creates that space for us, and we so appreciate that. Kelly, any sort of wrap up thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, just back on the theme of seasons, I think for both of us, part of the reason why we do this is talking about our own experiences as encouragement for other people, and that whatever season that you're in, whether you're coming out of winter and going into spring or going into a winter, we're here for you, right? Like, we're telling you about our experiences because we want to show this is how we're doing it, and this is how we're surviving and even thriving, or whatever it is. This is what we're doing. If you're in a season and you need support and love, that's the whole reason why we're here. We are doing this. We are talking. We are being vulnerable and telling you our stories because we don't want you to feel alone. We want you to feel loved and supported, and that you can do this. And if by watching the show you feel like you want to know more, or you need support, please reach out to either of us or anyone in the comments. If you can't tell that this is a community this is a supportive, loving community. So whoever it is that you feel like you resonated with, please reach out to us. Any one of us, any one of either Nancy or I or anyone in the comments. We want to be that supportive team for you, holding space as we go through the seasons of life.
This, right? As we move through this, and I think that's so important. There's no ego involved.
Mm-mm.
Reach out to whomever it feels good to reach out to. Know that this is not a community of judgment. This is a community of people who feel good and thrive off of helping one another.
Yeah.
And this is brave space. This is brave space. It's not just safe space, because brave space is that we're all entering into it, willing to be vulnerable together. It's not, nobody sits on the sidelines and sort of doesn't participate.
Right.
It's all of us, and we all bring that to the table here week after week. And honestly, that's what makes it special for me. I think for my thoughts leading are, when we can step into trusting and allowing and awareness on so many levels, that it brings that calm I was talking about earlier,
Yeah.
and how important that is.
Yeah.
Knowing that whatever you have to say is really okay. And not only are we sharing our wisdom with you and hoping that, and I'm going to say, and knowing that it resonates with people, your wisdom that you share with us, you're also adding to my journey, into my toolbox. So I so appreciate that. I look forward to this every Sunday. There's so much food comment. I'm so hungry. I am so depressed. But I
Who
do.
is it that just gave us a recipe on here?
I know, that's what I saw. I was like, wait a second, that's like spinach
So
pie.
hungry.
But my call to action to all of you guys, of course, if you think anyone would benefit from hearing this conversation, please tag them, direct them toward the replay. There are a lot of people, as Tim said, this is such a relevant conversation right now, and we know it has farther reaching impact than just now. And the other call to action is continue this conversation. Go continue this conversation with someone else, because we're all out there. We all experience seasons, and we all have those moments of fear and doubt. And when we can share them with one another, they transform from fear and doubt to belief, faith, allow, confidence, all sorts
Love.
and love.
Love.
Love. Ready? Let's see if we can do it together. 1, 2, 3.
Love.
So thank you for being here, you guys. It
Thank
means
you,
the
everyone.
world. And one more, communities of good people. Yes, exactly. Find one another, continue supporting one another, continue loving one another.
Love.
And we look forward to seeing you here again next week. Be well. Light and